discussion, research in the university, talk big and doing big. So, Mr. Suhaila, how are you today?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Good morning.
Okay, Prof.
So before we start the interview, I would like to give you a brief background. Professor Syed is currently the holder of the chair of Ibn Khaldun and a professor in the Department of Communication. He was also the dean of the research center and later was the rector from 2006 until 2011. So he started his career as a reporter with Bernama, and after which he moved to UKM for 22 years before joining IIUM. He once held the post of President of Commonwealth Association for Education in Journalism and Communication, and also served as the President of the Institute of Public Relations Malaysia. He has been conducting plenty of research in public opinion since 1986, and is deeply involved in the study of political communication.
Okay, Prof. Today our topic is research in the university. Talk big and doing big. Can you please explain about that?
Okay, this is IIUM. Is a big university. I think we should knock off the idea that we are a small university. Big in the sense that we have the student population. We have more than 1,800 academic staff, more than 1,800 administrative staff. We have a big campus, or we have several campuses and campus sites, one in Gombak, one in Kuantan, one in Kuala Lumpur, one in Pago. So we are a big university. We have 14 kuliahs, more than 100 departments. So we are big. At the same time, we are not that young. We are more than 50 years. We are not really as old as Cambridge or Harvard, but definitely we are not young anymore. So being big and old, I think we should think properly of our aspiration. Take stock of ourselves and say, we have to think big. We have to do things big. We have to move to be one of the big universities in the international community. That's why I think about think big.
Talk big and doing big, right, Prof? So, what more about our current research in the university? What is your opinion on that?
We are doing research.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, we are doing research. But somehow or other, we got the idea that, or we started the idea that we are a teaching university, and we should, in the belief of some academics, we should continue to be a teaching university. But if you see other universities, except for the technical universities, all universities do research, do consultancy, do teaching. So when they say you are from a university, your role as an academic is to do research, to do consultancy, to do teaching, to do community work. You cannot just say, I only teach, or I only do research, I only do consultancy. You don't have that very specialized role in a comprehensive university. And ours is a comprehensive university. So when you are an academic, you have to start thinking of, I have to do research. I have to devote my time to consultancy. But that doesn't mean that as an individual you have to do all that. I'm saying that in general terms, there will be some academics who will be doing elaborate research, some will be doing many consultancies, some will be doing publications, yeah. But overall people will be doing teaching. Everybody has to do teaching. Even when I was rector, I was still teaching. Yeah, I was doing research. But there will be some people who will do more research, more consultancies, more publications, slightly more teaching. I didn't expect that of it. But at the end of it, you can say that generally, when you are a lecturer in the university, you will be doing research, you will be doing teaching, you will be doing consultancies, of course you will be doing publication, you will be doing community work.
So do you mean that the role of the academic staff in the university now emerging from previously, like you said, teaching, only now we have to, become all-rounders? So do you mean like that?
Not all-rounder. We have to go back to say, hey, look, what is the function of a university? Is it a teaching university? If you're teaching university, then you have several teaching colleges. And those are colleges that produce teachers. Yeah? Teaching. But I still think they do some research. But to say that you are a lecturer in the university, you only teach. You don't do research, you don't do consultancy, that is not thinking big. That's thinking big. As a lecturer in a university, in a modern setting, in a university called the International Islamic University, you have to keep yourself or be at par with other international universities.
I think that's a very good input, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So our previous guests were from the English and the Arabic department, so they gave us their experiences with research. We would like to know from your experience, your personal experience, researching in the communication field, what motivated you, or what were the hindrances that you faced, or what were the contributing factors that kept you going?
Well, I was fortunate. I became a lecturer in University Kebangsaan, Malaysia. In English, call it the National University of Malaysia. Yeah? It was set up in 1970. I joined in 1971. The university from day one not only championed the use of Malay as the medium of instruction, but took upon itself as a university where academics are asked to do research. It's from day one,
From the beginning.
From the beginning, they do research. And then when I was a registrar, I remember there was a time when the Majlis said, now we should do consultancy. That was in 1978. We're doing consultancy. So you develop from teaching, you champion the use of Malay as a medium of instruction, and Malay as a medium to do research. But you are asked to do research. And when you are asked at that time, it was a very polite request. Because everybody was asked, or everybody took it upon himself to do research. In 78, I think we started off with a small consultancy unit. So you can see the university I could say from day one, from teaching, research, consultancy. Of course, community work is part and parcel of the commitment as an academic. So UKM took the example set by University of Malaya and University of Science Malaysia. They were also teaching. They were doing a lot of research, they were doing a lot of consultancy, they were doing a lot of publication. And UM took its model from the London University. So Commonwealth universities or other universities, the role was academic. The role was to teach, to do publication, research, consultancy. That is part of your life or your career or your profession as an academic. Rarely you will say, I am academic in this well-known university, I only teach. I carry my file, I come at 8, I teach at 10, I teach again 11 to 12, I teach again at 2. I think that is not the role of an academician.
So, Prof Syed, you were saying?
Okay, what started me in doing research? I had an early start with the UKM experience because we had funding. At that time, universities were given educate funding. In fact, there were more funding than requests. So with that funding, we were, those who were interested, or those who were not interested were made interested because of the funding given. So then I started out with doing public opinion polling, doing studies on elections and by-elections, doing studies on public relations and whatnot. So you can see that there was adequate funding. If I were to make a general statement on research in the university, I think it's quite important to have the infrastructure first. UKM, when they moved to Bangi, they could see the infrastructure there. There were more facilities. The computer was coming in. Electricity was there. Postgraduate students were there. So the infrastructure was there. Yeah. Yes, we have the infrastructure. We have the facilities in Gombak. We have the facilities in the Kuantan campus, in Kuala Lumpur campus. We have research institutes, we have research clusters, we have the postgraduate program, postgraduate students, we have a good library. Now with the internet, you can have access to your books and references the world over. So the infrastructure is there. So that we are big. We have more than 14 kuliahs. We are big, so that we can move, given our aspiration, to utilize our talent and expertise and our facilities that we have to move in a direction that we would call research, consultancy, and publication. Of course, we don't deny that we will still be teaching, still teach, but we do research, publication, and consultancies. So the most important thing, I think, is to have a very good infrastructure, which we have. Compared to other universities, I've been to Africa, I've been to the Middle East, I see they don't have adequate infrastructure. But the aspiration is still to do research. We have the infrastructure, very good infrastructure, but we always complain that we don't have time maybe to do research. But we have time. We have time to do research.
Thank you very much, Prof. That's very good insight from our former rector. Yeah.
Okay, so we understand that research is part of the development process of any academician. Would you would you like to explain to us why you are interested in political communication in particular? Why electoral studies? I mean, communication is a very vast field. So what attracted you to political communication?
My academic focus is on public relations because that's what I
Specialized in.
specialized in public relations. My interest in political is probably interest. That's true to my academic life. I started out because as my student as a reporter. I think 69 was I think very significant election. So I was following the first Prime Minister, I think more than 3 weeks following him in his campaign. As a reporter, I was with Swami Mokhtar and a few others, like Atik, and we followed Tunku one place to another for 3 weeks campaigning, and we write stories. I was also following Tuna Brazza. So they gave me an idea. I'm very interested in politics, writing on politics, not involving in politics.
Reporting on politics.
Yeah, so 69. So when later on I joined UKF in 1971, became academic. The UKF provided the infrastructure, financial support, and administrative support. So we could go on conducting public opinion studies and surveys. UKM give me the bus, carry the students. I was given 2 cameramen. Swami is one of them. Abu is another one. We were given the camera, we were given the video. So I was free to move. That started off with my interest in the time. And the students benefited. Every time there was a by-election, I would carry them. So I took them to Kelantan, I took them to Kedah, I took them to Penang, I took them to Johor. So students were also enriched. They interviewed people, they wrote and whatnot. So I think in that sense, they could see that what you get from the classroom is less than what you will get if you go outside the classroom. Meeting people and interviewing people are 2 different things from what we learn in the classroom. So that gave me that implanted, I think, the value in me that if I were to be an academician, I must not only teach in the classroom, I must also be able to take my students to provide them with additional experience outside the classroom. And I think, Alhamdulillah, I have managed to that, even though I've been a rector. I think during a rector, I've taken a few students to observe elections. And now I've taken students to Ulu Kenderong, to Sungai Besar, Kolakang Sana. So these are the places that I did.
Okay, so Prof, just an add-on question. Next year is an election year, right? Any big plans next year?
Yeah.
Okay, so we look forward to that.
Yeah.
I may not be endowed with such a big grant, but I do have a grant. And I'll be doing my book, which should be coming up. The book that on 2013 election, which carries my finding on 2008 and 2004 findings. So my book on 2000 now is coming out to have an idea of the findings of 3 elections. So inshallah, when I do this 2008, it will be finding on 4 general elections.
Yeah.
And plus, of course, the by-election that have come. Mind you, this is interest, academic interest. But my research has always been in public relations, which I have also presented papers. That's on. It's a different ball game altogether. Altogether, because in political comm, my methodology has always been quantitative, has always been empirical. But when I do public relations, it's always been historical. So my methodology is a bit totally different. Not say a bit, it's totally different from quantitative. I'm going now to qualitative. So I'm happy because my training for my PhD and my undergraduate, my masters and my PhD have taken me to different methodologies. Undergraduate, I was doing qualitative. I was history, so that gave me an idea of history, humanities. But when I went to do my masters and PhD, my supervisor said, if you want to continue to be in Wisconsin, you better take courses in statistics. So I took 5 courses in statistics, from simple up to path analysis, factor analysis. So of course regression very simple compared to factor analysis and path analysis. So I've been qualitative, I also been in quantitative. But if I do research, I'll be in history, I'll be in, if I'll do in public relations, I'll be a bit in quantitative.
Share with us just now about how your experience in collecting the data from the first Prime Minister until now. So how different is it when you collect data back then as compared to now? Because now we have internet, we have social media. So Prof, can you share with us?
Okay, with the Prime Minister, I was then a reporter. So we just followed and I was the right news. But the political campaign compared to now was there's a lot of leisure. So Tengku would take time to play golf, so we just follow him to see whether he will make an announcement. Then he will meet the political leaders. Afternoon he would take a nap. Tengku would take a nap afternoon, and then you meet and talk, campaign in the afternoon, and then sometimes he would take his golf. But at night, started the speeches and the drama. So there's a lot of free time for us as reporters. And the number of reporters following was small number. I remember myself, Saimi, from Bernama, Putusan, RTM. We were in one car following Tengku everywhere he goes, and then we would send in the news. So it's a very leisurely time. Our again has a reporter, but it's all I became Penapta. Again, that small number of pressmen. So when Tengku or Tun Razak calls for press conference, then you know everybody. And at the most you can send about 2 stories a day. Use the phone. But I think under Mahathir, Tun Abdullah, things were getting more complex. The campaigns were getting more intense. There were more political rivalries. I think there were more political parties. And the number of press people were getting more. So, and the number of foreign correspondents was bigger. So you find that people were not only using the traditional media, they were also using, I think 1990, they were also using the blogs, and now it becomes the worst. So the political landscape, the political scenario, the media scape has changed altogether. Altogether. If at that time Tengku could take a nap in the afternoon, I think no Prime Minister will have that leisure to take a nap, in the afternoon. And the campaign is always on every day, every day, every night. So I think politics has become more serious. Has become more serious. That is one aspect. The second aspect is academics writing on elections and by-elections and on politics have also grown more, in terms of number and in terms of coming from different backgrounds. If at that time in UKM we were only from communication and political science, slightly a bit from history, only from UKM and USM. But now you have every university, you have academics who are interested in doing research in politics, not only in political science, in communication, you also in geography, you have in administration, you have in history, you have sometimes in engineering, in science coming in, to claim that you are a political analyst. So everybody wants to have a stake in analyzing politics. So you see academics from many different backgrounds. So not only has the political scenario changed, the media landscape changed, but I think the academic landscape has also changed vis-a-vis the coverage on elections and politics. So that, I think, to me is a very different. And on top of that, I think not only academics are doing research, but marketing organizations are also being given funding to do studies on election, in particular doing on public opinion research. So you see now market organization also doing that, competing with the academics. I would like to see academics to maintain the stand in doing research on politics as research. Although you might be doing public opinion or polling, but academics should always say at the end of it, I do this, I want to do a paper, I want to submit a conference paper, I want to submit a manuscript for publication, etc. Because academics must come at the end of it to say, I have to make an academic contribution to the understanding of the political process. If you are doing marketing research, you must say, I just do a polling and that's that. Yeah? But academic must say, I do polling, I do research on election or by-election, but that's not the end of it. The end of it is a paper, either a conference paper, a research paper, or a manuscript for publication. We have to think of our role as contributing to the academic knowledge of the political process.
Yes, that's right. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. We want to thank you very much, Prof. Syed, for sharing your knowledge with us and your experiences with research.
Okay, welcome. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.